correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure the big one for this week is Destiny 2 developer Bungie laying off dozens of staff.
Absolutely.
Which is an absolute shit show. But there is nuance to the story where, correct me if I'm wrong, I mean, I'm going to let you run with it, but I know my knee-jerk reaction is like, PlayStation, why would you do this? But it's come out that it's not PlayStation's decision necessarily.
Yeah, not at all.
So,
it is 100% apparently a Bungie decision.
Which is...
This is bad. So this is, if I'm honest, I can't recall the percentage, but it was like around 100 employees. It's a lot of people. It's loads of people that have suddenly lost their jobs. Also, they lost their jobs on October 30th, which means that the way America works is that their health benefits run out at the end of the month. So they had 1 day of health benefits left after they were laid off, and then they had to fucking fend for themselves. The other thing that happened, which it sounds incredibly bad, I get, like, I want to preface that this is how it works at any company. This isn't just Bungie doing it. It doesn't make it any less shit, but it's important to note that. But when they were purchased by Sony, employees were given preferential shares in Sony, you know, as a gift to be like, you helped us get to this point of acquisition, and now you can cash in the shares. But like all of those deals, those shares can only be sold after a certain period of time after the sale.
Yeah.
So now that all of these people have been fired, they hadn't gone through a round of what they call vesting, where the shares vests, and you can choose to either sell the shares back to the company, or you pay tax on the dividends on those shares and you keep them. So like, for example, my mom, when she was working in Microsoft for a good 7 years, they, as part of a bonus structure, used to get shares.
Yeah.
And every 4 months, she had to decide whether to pay this usually gigantic sum of tax on those shares or sell them.
Yeah.
And so that you have to go through one of those rounds for the shares to technically be in your name. And that hadn't happened yet. So these 100 employees just lose those shares. They revert back to Bungie and potentially back to executives at Bungie, which is like awesome. That's cool. Not great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So not great at all. Happens at every company, but still, like, when they made these cuts, they were fully aware that those shares would definitely revert back to Bungie, which
just the
is
timing
in
is
of itself
very...
money, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of executives who would benefit from more shares, Pete Parsons, the CEO of Bungie, who I read a very interesting thread this week where he was actually at Microsoft during the tumultuous period where Bungie basically negotiated their freedom from Microsoft and the whole relationship soured. So real interesting that he was on the Microsoft side there and basically fucked over Bungie at that point. So yeah, he's now CEO of Bungie. Good times.
Love to see it.
He says, today is a sad day at Bungie as we say goodbye to colleagues who have all made a significant impact on our studio. Okay, we'll get back to that. What these exceptional individuals have contributed to our games and Bungie culture has been enormous and will continue to be a part of Bungie long into the future. Yeah, he got a lot of shit for this post because a lot of it came off as tone deaf. Like, the way he words it was that he had no hand in what happened here. He is the CEO of Bungie. He obviously steers the ship and obviously steering it poorly and causing these layoffs. You can't then be like, today is a sad day. It's like, no, like, today's a sad day because you fucking got rid of 100 people's jobs. Like, at the same time, I think he also had a meeting with people at Bungie that said, all of the people here are people that we see as critical to the future of the studio. So it's like, wow, awesome. Yeah. That's a great thing to say. Like, literally the day after you gutted 20% of them. So, yeah, so, listen, Jim Ryan's gone from Sony. There's all these rumblings that Sony is 180 degrees turning on their live service strategy. Rumors, not confirmed. Yeah. They have 12 games that are, you know, under that strategy. So, like, it would be a big thing for them to just be like, no more of that. Bungie assessed The Last of Us factions and came back saying that this will not work. And for all intents and purposes, the reports are that that game is on ice. And now Bungie's lost 20% of its, sure, not from Sony directly, but like it's lost 20% of its workforce purely because Destiny is not performing in the way that it needs to anymore.
Yeah.
Is live service, I mean, live service seems like it's had its time, or launching or continuing live service games is getting more and more and more challenging. And like Bungie is seeing it, and Sony is definitely being like, oh fuck, like we maybe have backed the wrong idea here. And that was very much a Jim Ryan initiative. Now he's gone. It's just, it seems far too close to one another to be coincidental, if that makes sense. Like it seems like the industry is trying to tell all of these studios something through consumer patterns.
I think it depends. Like, I completely agree with you. I think backing live service alone is a dumb thing to do, because the reality is that gamers have limited time, and I can tell you is while I'd love to play all these live service games, I steer away from them in favor of games I can actually finish and enjoy separately. But I mean, you look at things like Fortnite's a good example of Fortnite just keeps evolving, and it keeps getting like, I think just this week it reverted back to the OG map. It was like, hey,
they did.
And if I'm not mistaken, the player number, the concurrent players peaked, like broke records. So many people played, came back. But the thing with Fortnite is that it's a thing you can literally pick it up, play it today, in 2 years, 3 years. The game will always be Fortnite. It's about surviving. My only concern with a game like a Destiny is that I would not know where to begin. I want
100%.
I want to play Destiny 2. Where the actual fuck do I begin when there's like 4 million expansions? And I know that there are things to to onboard new players, whatever. But the reason Destiny 2 players are crashing, because I just think like you only have the hardcore players there. I personally think it's time to do Destiny 3, which it feels like it's a fresh start. And I think maybe then it'll see record numbers again. Like people come back, new players come back going, I've always wanted to play Destiny. I would play because I'm like, oh, it's a fresh start. What better time to jump in? That said, like that's one game. I don't know if we need like a Destiny and then like 5 other live service games from PlayStation. So I think they need to be very careful. Like The Last of Us multiplayer, I mean, I don't know what it looked like, whatever, but maybe Bungie were like, hey, we're seeing Destiny not work out. You're following a very similar formula here. Like pull the plug now. It's too late. Like I don't know what happened behind closed doors. But it's just interesting, this live servicing, because when done right, it'll make money. Like Epic making huge bank on Fortnite, like month after month. But also
in the same breath, Epic making huge bank, also laid off 800 people,
which makes no sense to me. No idea how that happens. I don't know. It's a weird thing.
It's been a shit show in terms of like layoffs this year, because I think we are on the downward trend of the COVID pandemic as well, where the games industry experienced incredible growth during COVID, like, which made complete sense. People were at home, they had more disposable income for the sort of like entertainment side of the business. But now that, things have settled back into like normality and spending patterns have changed, there was a tweet going around where it's like the average expenditure or the average revenue of the games industry has now matched the levels prior to the pandemic. So, of course, all of these studios that were banking on that to never happen, for this to consistently be an upward trend, are like seeing themselves like it. And to base your company strategy 2 years ago off the idea that this will never go down is just the most naive nonsense. Like it's almost like you have never experienced the ebb and flow of like even just basic financial markets. Nothing ever goes up forever. It is just impossible. It does not work like that. So this is 100% down to people in charge making very bad calls very long ago that now have very real impacts for a lot of people who never had control of those decisions in the first place. They are just coming into work, doing the best job that they can, putting out good products. Bungie has put out good products. Epic has put out good products. That is not enough to stave off keeping your job nowadays, and that's just sad.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
I mean, yeah, it's the same thing we saw a few years ago, like when MOBAs were all the rage. Yeah, Dota, League of Legends.
Yeah.
Every bloody company tried making a MOBA, and you know how many of those MOBAs are still around today?
Did you see what happened with the International this year?
No, what happened?
Did you know it had happened?
Oh, no, yeah, it felt very low-key. I was actually quite surprised.
It had the second lowest prize pool in TI history. Only higher than the very first international tournament, which had no crowdfunding for the prize pool. That is where Dota is currently.
That is insanity. God, I didn't realize it was that low.
I think the total prize pool is like 4 million.
But just still a lot. Don't get us wrong. But when the prize pools hit like
nothing,
staggering
they were hitting
numbers.
40 million 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But I mean,
it's
nothing. It's bad. It's the overall interest of that game is just plummeted. It's just not where it is anymore. So
yeah, we could talk about this for hours, because it's also this thing of like, I do wonder. I mean, I love Dota. I've got obscene amounts of hours in Dota, but it's a thing of I haven't played it for too long now. Dota 2's been around
it's impenetrable.
For like a decade, if not longer. I'm like, is it not time for Dota 3? give it a fresh start. Maybe it'll have a resurgence. I don't know. It's a weird thing, because then in the same breath, like Counter-Strike, been around for a lifetime. CSGO only a year or two ago hit peak numbers, despite being around for, you know what I mean, like for years. It just had this huge resurgence of popularity. Now CSGO 2 is out, but I think it had a lot of plays, but I've read somewhere that the player number has dipped because people are going...
Yeah, a lot of people aren't happy with it.
People are going, it's missing features, it's still very rough. Like, we'll come back in a year or two when it's been fixed. So, like...
I also don't think a CSGO 2, it's called Counter-Strike 2 in name, but there's nothing in there that has made it more...
different or...
approachable for new players. So, like... It's literally it's supplanted the same market that it had and then pissed off a section of that and then just cut off, like, you know, so, but you see, whereas I think you hit the nail on the head with regards to Destiny 3 and Fortnite and the differences between them. Like, when there's a cool event in Fortnite or there's some cool ass skin, or like you get involved for a few months and you like, come join. Like, I can hop in and join and know exactly what's going on. And sure, it is just a battle royale. It is very, very different in complexity to a Destiny. But Destiny is a game I've played a lot of. Like, I played a lot of the first one. I played tons of the second one. But I dropped off for 2 or 3 expansions. And now I've tried to hop back in, and it is incomprehensible. I do not know what is going on. I do not know where to start. So, like, how does a new player start now? They don't. So what you end up having is just old players lapsing, like me,
which
like Darren,
normal,
and no new influx of players.
No.
So of course you're going to run into trouble. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Anyways.
Good luck to Bungie. They've delayed, reportedly, they haven't made it official, but they've delayed the next expansion for Destiny 2, which is a whole other can of worms, because now the current season has to stretch over 7 seasons, and that's just not going to go down well with people. And then on top of it, their new shooter Marathon, or their reboot, so to speak, has been pushed from 2024 till 2025. And apparently I saw some reports of some very expert Escape from Tarkov players coming in to play test the game, because this is being designed as an extraction shooter, and they left not impressed at all. So
yikes.
Bungie's got a lot ahead of them.
It's only like, damn, did we buy the wrong studio? Should have bought Nintendo instead.
Remember when there was that whole thing of like, man, Activision really treated Bungie poorly? Maybe.
Yeah, it's
just maybe.
I don't know. We could talk about this for hours. There's a lot to discuss here, but this is news, so we're gonna fly through other stuff. I think. I mean, we spoke about that for a while, but is there anything particularly you want to jump to, or shall I just cherry pick?
Yeah, just cherry pick. I think all of it's pretty much the
mean,
same.
Elden Ring DLC proceeding smoothly. Huzzah.
Sick.
This was announced, was it at the Game Awards last year? Where was it?
Yes, I think that's right.
Or was it before then? I don't know.
No, I don't think it was before then. I think it was at the Game Awards.
I think it was the Game Awards. I don't know.
Yeah. It says oh no, never mind. It just ends off saying we're expecting. Oh no, they just announced it randomly. They just fucking tweeted it.
Okay. So
yeah,
sorry,
they just one day they
wrong.
were just like, oh, we're working on DLC, and I was like,
my prediction for the Game Awards, they're gonna announce release dates for this, and it's 100%. Gonna be like February. It'll be real soon in the year. I cannot wait for this. Soon. You shut your mouth. It's coming February.
I mean, you can say it all you want. I don't think it's that soon, but I do think it's next year.
I think it's next year for sure. I have a feeling it's early next year, but I don't actually know. That's just me hoping. I'm very excited to I saw a YouTube video, like even just a preview of somebody playing Elden Ring this week, and I was like, oh man, I should play Elden Ring again. I have all the time in the world to go play Elden Ring. That game is so good. It is the game you can play so many times. No issue. But yeah, apparently they say the development is proceeding smoothly, and that's all you need to know from that headline. It's a good thing.
Sadly, along with this, there was kind of like From Software saying that Armored Core 6 had sold 700,000 units in Japan, but that they were not happy about its sales elsewhere, which is kind of a bummer. Like there was so much, you felt like there was so much excitement for a new Armored Core after such a long time, after From Software's renaissance, and like it seems like people just didn't buy it. So
I still think it's something like I want to play it, but it's something I'll get when it's on sale. I think it might it won't hit the numbers of a Dark Souls, but I think people like me are waiting for a discount because I have no idea what Armored Core is. I've barely watched footage.
It also just came out in the most stacked year possible.
Exactly. So I think it will have I'm guessing it'll have not a resurgence, but like it will continue to sell. It's like a slow burn. But
I do think so as well. I agree.
Speaking of expansions, Diablo 4's first expansion. Oh, surprise! BlizzCon happened last night. Remember when BlizzCon was like a thing?
Huge thing.
You would drop everything to watch BlizzCon. Not anymore. But good news for Diablo fans out of there. It is getting a new expansion called the Vessel of Hatred. It's coming late 2024. And if
I bet this moves back into 2025.
You think it'll be delayed?
That is prime placement for we need more time next year.
And apparently it'll have a new class that has never been seen in Diablo before, which is exciting.
That's sick. That's pretty cool.
I still have Diablo. I've played the first hour. I will get to it at some stage.
It's a good game. It's a good game, and apparently this new season is very good. I've been tempted to create a new season character and give it a go. I think it had a rough patch after launch, which is like always weird. When you review these games, especially very live service ones, it's like you can enjoy it for what it is, story and combat wise, but there are people going into it with the mindset of I need to play this for 300-400 hours, and like I will immediately pick up problems that don't let me do that, in a way that I want to. So I think Diablo's in that phase of its life now, where the players that it's satiating are very long-term players. But I'm still keen to give it a go. I'm always keen for expansion because I think Diablo expansions are generally pretty good. Like Reaper of Souls is fantastic.
Reaper of Souls was chef's kiss. That saved Diablo 3. Like honestly,
100%. So, and I don't think Diablo 4 is in that sort of like dire state at all.
Yeah.
So they don't need to have so much riding on it. So. Yeah, it's cool. It's going to the jungles of Torjan, which, if you recall, that was in Diablo 2's third act, I think.
Nice.
So that's cool that they're going back there. I'm keen. Yeah, I'm keen. I like the green on the logo. Yeah. I think that's neat.
Real nice. Laws of Peace sequel confirmed as game director. Teases DLC. Bless you, Eurogamer. The subhead here. The Puppet Master speaks. It's too good.
Good lord.
This is Lies of P, if you don't know, is it an indie or is it a double A? I don't actually know. Doesn't matter.
It's definitely not indie.
Yeah,
I think the studio is owned by Tencent.
Oh, is it a Tencent game? If you don't know, the Lies of P is, for all intents and purposes, a Souls-like that looks very much like a modern day sort of Bloodborne in terms of tone and theme, and it is really good. Reviewed well, people love it. It has sold 1 million copies as of a few weeks ago, whenever they announced it. Well,
I'm wrong. Sorry. The developers are NeoWiz Games, and they self-published this.
Oh, well, there you go.
They're an online game publisher in South Korea, so definitely not Tencent. They have published several games, lots of games. So it's not their first one, but yeah, technically self-published.
Lies of P. Another game like Diablo 4. I need to 2023, it's too stacked. There's just not enough time to play all of this stuff.
I really, really want to get to playing this, especially before it leaves like Game Pass. Because
I'm
going to see that notification 1 month being like, it's off in 2 weeks. And like
I know.
Yeah.
I've got a speed
So I really want to play it. I just need to find the time. It's cool that it's getting a sequel.
Yeah.
I'm glad that this hit well, because like making a Soulsborne is difficult.
Many have tried.
The shadow of FromSoft, and I think this is definitely the closest by far.
Yeah,
that has come to replicating that formula. So,
I need to play this. Speaking of Bloodborne Kart has a release date.
Hell yes. This is the Bloodborne 2 I've been waiting for.
Is it?
Oh my god, Cthulhu shells. Oh, love it.
Eurogamer never change. If you don't know, Bloodborne Kart is a fan-made spin-off, which is very much like a Mario Kart with a Bloodborne skin, but it's done as a retro PS1/PSX look and feel, like a demake. This has been kicking around for many years now. Like, I've seen this, correct me if I'm wrong, it does feel like it's been, made headlines way back when, like, oh, somebody's making a kart version of Bloodborne, and like now 2023 it's finally got a release date. I'm keen to try it.
This is expansive. It's got 12 races, 16 maps, and a full single player campaign with boss battles. Amazing. There's even a boss battle against Father Gascoigne.
Nice.
And in the trailer he does the Akira slide on his motorbike.
Oh, there's an actual trailer. It's not
Fan
from
software.
It's fan software. Bless this person. Oh my word, I have to play this.
I love that this is styled like the old Crash Team Racing. That's what
good.
Absolutely gets me.
You're gonna absolutely love this game.
I'm gonna lose my mind to this game.
You're gonna get all the trophies. We're gonna go. Did you just see my old the old dude? I can't even remember what his name is, on the wheelchair. Look at him go.
Gearman.
Amazing. I have to play this.
And the music is so good. It's like upbeat retro Bloodborne. It's so nonsense.
Fantastic.
Oh,
bless things like that.
Can't wait to see amygdala on a car.
My goodness.
Is the amygdala just running with all its legs?
Probably. And then last piece of news, Gears of War creator CliffyB says series needs a God of War style reboot. And also the quote in this article.
Let me just get something off my chest. Cliff Bleszinski is so... he's just so annoying on social media around, like, not in general. I think in general he's like totally fine. But just over this sort of stuff, he gets so mad when people ask him why he's not doing Gears of War. He's like, I've given my number to Microsoft many times. No one's contacted me. Stop asking me. And then he'll do shit like this. Be like, you know what they need to do with Gears of War? They should do this. They've got my number. They should call me. It's like, of course people are going to fucking ask you then. Like, don't get mad at people for asking you if you give interviews like this.
Yeah.
Irritating. Anyway.
I don't know. But
sorry, what were you saying?
No, I was going to say that... I was going to say, like, I have no affinity to Gears of War. Okay, that's a lie. Like, I've played the first game. I enjoyed it. But I mean...
It's a good game.
The franchise has been around since 360 days. It's been around a long time now. And I do worry that it's got the same problem where it's been the same for a long time.
Yeah.
And maybe it does need a reboot. It's like, I can tell you now, if there's a Gears of War 6, there are people like you, Alessandro, who'll be like, yes, Gears of War 6. But there are people like me who
there's
go,
definitely going to be a Gears of War 6.
Yeah, but there'll be people like me who go, like, I haven't played
No, I know. It doesn't
like,
have the same... It's not a system seller like it used to be.
No.
I think it finds itself in a very similar place to Halo.
Yes.
Where Halo was the reason you bought a 360, like Gears of War was the reason you got a 360. It holds a very, very special place in my heart because it is I remember the day I got Gears of War and like played it. I had no idea what it was prior to that and just like blew me away. Just what a game. One of those like games that sears in your memory, like this is what gaming can be. And I think the franchise itself was pretty great on 360 and then just lost its way after, Epic kind of like Epic and Cliff Bleszinski stopped making it. I think 4 and 5 are totally fine games. I think they're good. I just don't think they are anything overly special. Like I enjoy playing them. I forget about them pretty quickly after the fact.
Yes,
like that's unfortunate.
Well, that's just you getting old.
Akin to God of War, I don't think he means like make it a sad story about a father and son. No,
no,
I think he's like get a brand new perspective on what this like world can be like. Because they're running into the Star Wars problem with Gears where they keep bringing back fucking Marcus Phoenix. Like, it's always about his family. It's always about the same lineage. It's always about this. Like, move away from that. You're talking about a massive war like that you could explore in different ways.
You could go to the other
and I
side
think
of the
that's
planet.
what Cliff is thinking about, Is Cliff Bleszinski the correct person to do that? I don't know.
No idea. But this is a sort of thing that would make me go, a Gears of War reboot. Maybe this is the time for me to jump into the franchise. I don't know. Games are weird, man. Like,
this line is so... This is so Cliff Bleszinski. Jeez. Have you read this article?
I've skimmed through.
When his interviewer commented that Gears of War 3 was the first game to make them cry, CliffyB replied, "That means a fucking lot to me, even though I'm wearing a shirt that says, I eat ass in Japanese." What is happening?
Bless you, Cliff Bleszinski.
What the fuck?
That's too good. Too good.
What a great interview. Awesome.
Love to see it.
But I would love to see it. I don't think it's going to happen. I think Gears 6 is going to come out because they need to finish the story that they left off on Gears 5. I really hate that it's also just called Gears now. It really irritates me. But anyway,
what a time to be alive. Well, there we go. That is gaming news for this week.